Hello everybody and welcome back to Northwest Small Batch Brewing. I'm Steven and today I'm going to do hopefully a moderately short video on how to use gelatin to clear your beer. So before I get started, as always, if you're new to the channel, take a look around. I have lots of videos on home brewing and different steps of brewing and full brewing videos, blah, 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 right? So take a look around. If you like what you see, it would help this channel a lot if you hit the like button, the thumbs up. That helps get it in the YouTube algorithms for searches. And then if you hit the subscribe button, that will help out a lot and you will get notified every time I put out a new video. So let me first open my beer because it is a hot day. I think it's hot everywhere right now. This is, by the way, my barley wine, which turned out absolutely amazing. I don't want to go too high on that. It's Cannot lose a drop. All right. Sorry about that. Back to our regularly scheduled video. By the way, I will put a link up in the corner to my barley wine recipe for this exact beer. It's fantastic. If you want to make a barley wine, it's really good and malty, and yeah, this is a good one. All right, I guess I don't need the can opener anymore. Let's get started. So there are lots of ways to clear your beer. If you've been watching any of my videos, you know that as a general rule, I really don't care about clear beer. I'm not entering any competitions. I'm not, if somebody doesn't want to drink my beer because it's cloudy, then they don't have to drink it, For example, my barley wine. I don't believe I did anything to clear it, and you could tell because it is quite, opaque. But I don't care. It tastes amazing. So who cares, right? But, there are times when you're making a beer that maybe you want to clear it because the beer that style of beer specifically says that it should be clear. Again, it doesn't change the taste at all, but I can see doing lighter beer, lighter colored beers, and especially lagers. I can see why you'd want to clear those, and it's an aesthetic thing. But anyway, there's different ways to do it, right? I already do a couple things that help keep my beer relatively clean and clear that don't involve adding anything to the actual beer. First of all, I keg my beer, and by the time it's actually carbonated and ready, it's cold crashed at that point, right? I add the beer to the keg, I put it in the refrigerator, I prime it, and then I prime it with CO2, and then I let it sit for a week to carbonate in the refrigerator. So it's cold crashed for a week. So most of anything that's in the beer that would make it cloudy will flocculate down to the bottom. Then I use a floating dip tube, which means that it's pulling the beer in the keg from the top, not from the bottom where all the stuff settles. So that helps. I also have a little cheapy filter that you can attach to the floating dip tube. So when it does pull the beer through the keg, it's in addition to pulling from the top, it's also pulling it through this little fine mesh filter. So again, it's just one more step, one more thing you can do that doesn't cost money and doesn't cost money initially for the product, but I mean, you're not adding anything to your beer to make things clear out more. So there's 3 ways right there to help make your beer a little bit more clear. Cold crash it, floating dip tube it, and put a filter on the floating dip tube. As always, beer will always clear with time. Time is your friend. That being said, there's one more thing you can do, especially if you're doing, like I say, a lager or a lighter beer that you just want to have the visually clearer looking beer where you can see your hand on the other side of the glass, right? And that's adding gelatin. So how do you add it? When do you add it? How do you prepare it? That's what this video is about. Okay. So you'll find lots of directions and things that on YouTubers and on Google and out there on the internets all kinds of directions, people doing it different ways. Here's how I do it. Number one, put your beer in a keg and then chill it, cold crash it. That's really step one. You don't want to add this to like room temperature beer. So chill your beer down, cold crash it, and then you add your gelatin mix. So the gelatin mix, I take 1 cup of water, so we're talking 8 ounces of water. And before you even heat it up, you're going to take some gelatin. Now you can go to the store and buy a packet. These usually come like in a package of like 4 or whatever, and just pour in the gelatin. This is equivalent to like, I want to say a tablespoon. I'm trying to see if it says how much. It doesn't say how much is in here, but 1 tablespoon will work. So either do a tablespoon of gelatin if you're buying it in bulk, or you're buying it like in a bulky bag from the brew store, or if you just go to the grocery store, just make sure it's unflavored gelatin, and then you can just do 1 tablespoon and just do the whole packet. So pour the packet into room temperature water, and then you're just going to let it sit for like 15 minutes. And if you want to use a spoon, you can, but basically you want the gelatin to dissolve as much as you can in just room temperature water initially. So just pour it in and let it sit for like 10-15 minutes. Then you're going to warm it up. Now you can do this on the stove, you can use your microwave. I like to use the microwave, but you have to be careful, right? So you don't want to overheat it. So do it for like 30 seconds, check the temperature. Do it for 30 seconds, check the temperature. Check the temperature. You want to heat it up until it's about 150 degrees Fahrenheit, which is like 65.5 Celsius. If you go hotter than that, like if you get I think 160 is the max, and I would avoid getting even that close. Then you're going to start having the gelatin sort of solidify and do stuff that you don't want it to do, and then it's not going to serve the purpose that you want it to do, which is to clear the beer. So heat it up to about 150. Take your temperature. It's now at 150. Open your keg of beer. Obviously, you might need to purge the gas off first. Open the keg of beer. Pour this into your keg. Yes, don't wait for this to cool down. That's, I think, the most confusing part that nobody is really clear about. It seems counterintuitive to add 150 degree liquid to your cold beer, but your beer is cold, so when this hits it, you're not going to have any issues with alcohol like evaporating or anything. It's going to very quickly cool down. It's not you're adding this to like 5 gallons of beer. By the way, I should have started with that. This is for 5 gallons of beer. Yeah, so it's not gonna cause a problem to put this warm water into your keg, and then seal it back up. Add your CO2 back in as you normally do, and give it 24 to 48 hours so that it can mix with your beer. What will happen is as it chills down with the beer, it'll start to solidify. You know what Jell-O does when it's cold, right? And it will, as it solidifies, it will actually grab hold of any kind of stuff, even the really like minuscule stuff that you can almost not even see, right? That's making it cloudy. It'll actually grab hold of it, and then it will sink to the bottom of your keg. And so it doesn't get rid of it. It just grabs all of it that's in suspension and pulls it down to the bottom. That's it. That's how you clear your beer. Simple, easy peasy. I will say that if you're going to use gelatin to clear your beer, the right thing to do is to tell people that it is non-vegan. So if you know somebody who's vegan, just make sure you tell them, hey, full disclosure, there is gelatin in here that was used to clear the beer, because they may not want to drink it. They may be uncomfortable with that. That being said, if you have friends that are vegan and you're going to be doing this a lot, they do sell vegan products for clearing your beer that you can use instead of the gelatin. It's pretty much the same process. Temperature and stuff wise, and the amount that you use may be different, so follow the directions that are on the packet. But you can go to any brew store, More Beer, Northern Brewer or your local homebrew store, whatever, and pick up a vegan option for clearing your beer. I use gelatin because I don't worry that much, and if someone's vegan and they don't want to drink it, then, you know, they don't have to. So that's it on how to clear your beer and how to use gelatin. Hopefully that helps if you had any questions on how that works. And yeah, thanks for stopping by. And I'll see you in another week for another video. So if you hit subscribe, you'll get notified, and then you can see me again in a week. So see you soon. Happy brewing.